welcome back to my channel, and I thought it would be interesting today to go through a little bit about Candida and about yeast overgrowth. Candida is very common, especially amongst your Asian types, and I think it's very important to understand where the cause is coming from. Now, there's lots of articles that you can find on the net, but they all kind of do the same thing. They go over the symptoms, they go over what could be triggering you, but they don't really get to the root cause of the issue. So Candida is yeast, but yeast overgrowth is the problem. So yeast is there in your system, right? It's supposed to be there within a small population. When it starts to grow, obviously the environment has to be ripe for it to grow, and when it starts to grow, that's when you start getting problems. Everything, and I mean everything from breathing issues, to wheezing, to rashes, skin rashes, eczema. You could also have swelling, you could have water retention, you could have an overproduction of mucus, you could start sneezing out of nowhere, you could start feeling extremely depressed. These kind of symptoms are all Candida related. So there's different ways to know whether you have Candida or not. Like if you look at your tongue in the middle, it shouldn't be white. If it is, then that is Candida. If you spit into a glass of water and your spit goes to the bottom of the glass, then you do have Candida. If you wake up and have this fever, it's like a low-grade fever, that can also be Candida. This is now when you have a Candida infection and it's in the bloodstream, and this is when it's tough to recover because now it's in your bloodstream, it is weakening you day by day. So this is when you have to do something as soon as possible. Now there are ways to combat Candida. If you go to a doctor, I'm not sure how much help that would be, but if you go to a holistic therapist, or if you go to a homeopath or an Ayurvedic therapist or somebody within the holistic field, they would be able to guide you much better, because Candida it's all about a lifestyle change, honestly. But there are ways to not just suppress Candida, because there's lots of stuff on the internet that will tell you on how to suppress the symptoms and how to kind of kill off the bacteria, but that's not what we want to do. We want to reverse this. We want to improve our digestion. And it goes back to one root cause that I found in my research. It all has to do with your nervous system. All you need is something highly stressful to happen, and what it does is stress, cortisol, right? It decreases the amount of stomach acid in your gut. And this is why when you're stressed out, you find that your eating habits change erratically. That's because it's all emotionally related. So there are a few things that you can do to improve your digestion. That's the place you want to start. That's the place you're going to find the biggest improvement. So number one, add apple cider vinegar to your daily routine. Before you have your meal, have a glass of apple cider vinegar, about 1 tablespoon into a glass of water with half a squeeze of lemon juice, and that is going to kill bacteria, right? So apple cider vinegar is antibacterial and antimicrobial, so you're going to support digestion by having something to increase the amount of stomach acid. Now that's the trick to this whole thing. We want acid in our stomach so that we kind of encourage the growth of good bacteria. The second one would be ginger. So ginger tea. I personally like to just grate the ginger, put it into a pot of boiling water with like a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and just boil it really nicely. Add a lemon slice. You can add also mint and maybe clove if you'd like. Even add some cinnamon sticks if you're feeling, creative, because cinnamon also just inhibits the growth of that Candida. And remember, Candida is the outer shell of the Candida is like it's a biofilm that is so hard to break through. That is why most of your diet has to be very antibacterial. That's the trick to this, just suppressing Candida forever. Something that maybe a lot of people wouldn't be a fan of, but it will work. I promise you it will work, is garlic. So actually having the garlic fresh and raw. So coat that garlic with some black seed oil. You can coat it with maybe some olive oil, would be great. Coat it even with coconut oil, because coconut oil is going to also fight against that biofilm on around the Candida shell. So just coat it with some kind of oil, because when you put it on your tongue, it's going to slip right down. So here's a trick, okay? You can grate the garlic, okay, really fine. Then you're going to put it in a teaspoon and put it right at the back of your tongue, okay? And now it's coated in the oil, right? You're going to coat it in some oil, put it on a teaspoon, put it right at the back of your tongue, and you're going to swallow with some water. And there, you fix the problem there. You've got to have that every day. You know, it's not a once in a while. You've got to do that every day until your symptoms start to decrease, okay? Then you can keep in, you know, the ginger tea once in a, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But overall, your diet has to be antibacterial, antimicrobial. You're also going to want to support your healing journey with supplements that are going to be beneficial to you, like omega-3. Omega-3 is anti-inflammatory, okay? And one supplement that really helped me, saved my life literally, was oregano oil. So oregano oil is another supplement you can take, or you can just have the oregano herbs and combine it with some olive oil. But oregano oil capsules, not really capsules, it's these oil soluble ones, it's just so amazing for killing off the Candida, and immediately it works to suppress the symptoms. So what starts to happen is the fever that you experience goes down, and even the body itching starts to decrease immediately. So it's Candida doesn't like oregano, so oregano is a big one. You can also combine olive leaf extract with your daily routine. If you're having some maybe vegetable juice, just put some olive leaf extract into your glass and down it. And that also is, it's so powerful in terms of attacking the biofilm of the Candida. So overall, avoid sugar, avoid the starches, avoid gluten, avoid stuff with like excess sodium and stuff like that. I will have a list on my site that is attached, so you can just go to my site and download a list of foods that are good for you and bad for you with regard to Candida. That list is free, and I hope overall that helps. But when you're dealing with Candida, remember, it has to be an anti-inflammatory diet, and it has to be a diet that is heavy on being antibacterial, okay? Because you've got to suppress it, and then you've got to kill it off. There's a method to it. There's a method to the madness. And if you need any assistance, I'm probably the best person to ask because I've been through it. So you can email me, and my email is linked also. But I hope you guys find this stuff informative, and if you have any other questions or any other content that you'd like me to break down, there's any stuff that you're dealing with that you'd love more information on, let me know in the comments or email me. Cool. I'll see you guys soon.